It's the mag that gave us the fat slags, the women who eat men for breakfast, Sid the sexist, the Geordie with a mouth but no brain, and foul-mouthed Roger Melly, who supposedly is like every man on the telly. You might not expect adults to find amusement in naughty words and extreme flatulence, but Viz is now celebrating 30 years of puerile humour. In its heyday, it sold over 1 million copies every month. Today, its circulation is much smaller, but still regularly manages to sell 100,000 copies.
We certainly paved the way for many of the big publications in the lads sector that have launched, that have probably stemmed out of the origins of Viz. But I think this today is a fantastic celebration. It's more relevant than ever, it's funnier than ever, and it's something that's what we should be really, really proud about.
The comic was started in Newcastle upon Tyne by Chris Donald, who produced the comic from his bedroom. Back then it was a photocopied and stapled fanzine. Now it's a glossy, colourful and profitable magazine. This is the first issue of Viz to be printed in 1979, and it's sold in local pubs and bars for just 20p, or 30p for students. It's now so valuable, I'm not even allowed to touch it with my hands. Steve Marchant knows more about comics than most. You name it, he's read it. He's been a Viz reader since the early 80s, and believes it upped the ante for what was acceptable.
Well, I've always liked Roger Melly, the man on the telly, as I have met many media types, and I know that that's how they really behave. Obviously the swearing is always important, but also just the fact that they took like classic British comics characters, put a bit of a spin on them, and have them doing all the things that we know that naughty schoolboys and schoolgirls do, but that you hadn't so far seen in the Beano.
An exhibition of original Viz artwork opens at the Cartoon Museum in London next week. Richard Suchet, Sky News.